Hello and welcome to the lecture series on railways, harbour, tunneling and airport for the subject code 18 CV 645, Module 1, Session 10, Soil Suitability Analysis. In this session, we are going to discuss the soil suitability analysis, what are the requirements of a subgrade soil and test to be conducted to ascertain the soil strength and to check its suitability, and lastly the references. Moving on to the soil suitability. So, the subgrade, as we referred, the subgrade is going to be always the mother earth, hence the subgrade we are going to be concerned, it is a natural soil which is prepared and compacted to its maximum density to receive the ballast track. So, that we are to check the strength property with respect to its density. So, also it is called as a formation. So, when we say strong formation, we are going to give a maximum strength to the track, hence we should check with respect to soil first with its density. So, as it is going to receive the ballast and also the track. The track should be so designed as the trusses transmitted to the formation do not exceed the permissible limit, that is it should be within the bearing capacity of the soil. So, that is the thing, the bearing capacity of the soil, which depends upon the type of a soil and a degree of a compaction that we are going to be adopted. The formation may fail in a different mode, that is rotational failure or any of the type of failure, and we should know what is the remedial measures that need to be taken to safeguard the track. Okay. So, these are the points to be kept in mind when we are going to be having the soil suitability analysis. So, as I said, it is going to be suitable, we are going to be ascertain its strength with respect to strength, bearing capacity, etc. and etc. So, what could be the requirement? And the first one, it should be able to bear the load, because as it is been transmitted through the ballast section. Okay. So, next it should prevent the entry or the puncturing of the ballast, that is it should not enter below our subgrade or the formation. Similarly, should drain off the water where it is going to be entered from the superstructures or the track system. It should not change its volume due to the moisture variation. So, next it should provide stability to the track, and lastly it should provide smooth and uniform bed for laying of the track. Okay. So, as I said it, so when we are going to be talk about the embankment, then we need to concern its bearing load when it is been transmitted by the ballast section. Say for example, just I am drawing a rough image, say this might be an embankment rest over the subgrade, then we are going to be having a sleeper section, that is a track assembly, then we are going to be having some rails which are fixed over that one. So, whenever we are going to be apply the load on to the track system, say if you are going to be apply the load, so adjacent and surrounding we are going to be having the ballast, and this is going to be the embankment where it is resting on the soil subgrade. So, this is going to be a subgrade if it rests directly, or sometimes so below 500 or up to 500 mm of an embankment is also going to be concerned as subgrade for the treatment. So, whenever we are going to be apply the load, so whatever the ballast section, so the ballast section is going to be acting upon the soil and it is going to be exerting pressure on the earth surface to resist that one. So, this upward load which is to be required, so that capacity is going to be called as a bearing capacity. So, this is going to be called as a bearing capacity. So, it has to withstand the upcoming load from the native soil. So, this is called bearing capacity. So, whenever if bearing capacity is high, if this is going to be higher, so then it can take up more loads. Suppose if it is going to be lower, so it is not going to be take up more load as it is a general principle. So, apart from that one, if it is going to be having a looser bearing strength, so whatever this aggregate or the ballast which has been put over here is going to puncture inside the subgrade soil. It is going to be end up with the leveling or irregular surface over the track system. Hence, that is going to be called as it should be have some bearing capacity. So, that is the thing. So, apart from that one, whatever the soil we are going to be using, it should not change its volume with respect to change in moisture. Suppose if it is the thing, so originally if you are constructed in a dry condition, so in the wet condition, so due to the moisture change, so volumetric changes of the embankment going to be done. So, then absolute failure of the embankment going to be taken. So, to avoid that one, once again the subgrade soil should be having minimal or negligible moisture variation with respect to volumetric changes. So, how we are going to give the suitability? So, as we know that we had explained the bearing capacity, then moisture variation. So, like that, and that is going to be checked by conducting few of the tests in the laboratory. So, that is in a general rule. First, we are going to be classify the soil. So, any method we can adopt it. So, to classify the soil. So, the principle is simple. First, we should have a GSD, that is a grain size distribution, and we know what could be its Atterberg limit. To have a grouping of a soil to get an idea about a cohesive or non-cohesive soil. So, that depending upon that one, we are to provide some drainage blanket layer and to decide its thickness for the suitability with respect to minimal volume change or to avoid the failure of an embankment. So, the tests are going to be grain size distribution, Atterberg limit. So, based on this, the soil group we are going to be made it. So, to know the exact characteristics of the soil where we are going to be identified in the network. Similarly, to know what going to be the strength with respect to the compaction. So, that is by conducting the compaction test and also the existing density at the field by field density test to make the embankment or the subgrade lesser in wider and to make a seepage of a water, that is we are going to be avoiding the seepage flow of a water to incorporate the strength. So, that is going to be carried out by the compaction test, that is a gamma D dry density obtained with respect to moisture corrections which has been taken from the field. So, that are going to be with respect to the test we are going to be conducted. So, apart from that one, so variation of a moisture and inflow of a water or flow is going to be analyzed with respect to drainage characteristics by conducting the permeability test. So, depending upon the soil condition or the type, so we can have constant rate are going to be used it or any other method which is going to be there, or we can use a one dimensional consolidation test to get back all the hydraulic or moisture variation parameter with respect to the loading characteristics. So, apart from that one, the strength parameter are going to be ascertained by conducting the SPT, that is a standard penetration test. So, apart from that one, as we have been expecting the repeated V load of a rail or a locomotive. So, to know the stresses and strain which is developed inside the soil matrix. So, that we are going to be conducting by cyclic triaxial test to know the effect of moisture variation with respect to repeated loading. So, based on that one we can justify so whether the soil is suitable for our construction or not. So, if not, so many soil improvement or ground improvement techniques are there, thereby we can incorporate depending upon the soil parameter and make it the soil to be suitable for the actual construction. So, with this note we are going to conclude this session. To prepare this session we are refer the same standard reference textbook as mentioned in the syllabus and web references. Thank you.